Happy new month. This is Ticha Masai again, speaking to you from Rhema Center, where we live, love, and lead. And today, I just want to say that whatever we are, wherever we are living, all of us define our lives through lenses. When we look at any situation in life, be it a good situation in life or a bad situation in life, we have lenses through which we look at life. And these are 4 lenses that I have read and studied in the Bible. And the first one is the geographical lens. The other one is the family lens. The other one is the lens of your father's house. And then the divine lens. These 4 lenses, you have to ask yourself, through which lens do I look at life? Stay with me till the end. We are only going to take a few minutes, and I'm going to help us look at our life in a way that will be more empowered than a way that is weak, a way that is demeaning and limited. And therefore, when we look at life through the lenses of geography, the lenses which are geographical, we are looking at ourselves through the lenses of race, through the lenses of where I was born, a physical place, a physical location, which has a territory that I was born into. And when I look at my life through such a lens, I will be limited in that I will look at myself as a European, or I look at myself as an American, or look at myself as an African. Most Africans will think that when Americans look at themselves, they look at themselves through an empowered lens. But then you do not know that there are limitations even in the land of America. So when we look at ourselves and our lives through the lenses of race, whether you're white or black, when you look at yourself through the lenses of race, we limit ourselves to geographical locations and to domains of man. Then God tells Abraham to leave your land. We all have to leave that lens behind and look at our lives through a different lens, because the limitations of race come with different things. They come with discrimination. They come with looking down upon someone. They come with timidity and self-esteem issues. All these come with lenses. Most Africans will look at themselves as inferior to the whites, and the whites will also look at themselves and look at life and look at others through the lenses of race and feel they are superior. The truth is, even feeling superior to the other gives you a limitation, gives you some sort of pride. I worked with someone one time, and we walked into the room, and both of us were supposed to present, and she was not an African. She was from another country. I don't want to mention the country. And she looked at me as an inferior person, so I was not able to do the presentation as was supposed to be done. So what she did was she went through the presentation, and even the parts that I was supposed to present, she went through, ran through them, presented them all. But at the end of the day, our clients could not understand what a word she had spoken. But simply because of her race, she looked at herself as superior. This is a limitation, that we should not look at ourselves through the lenses of geography, the lenses of race. And that will give us a problem. In the Bible, we have a man called Jonah. He looked at the Ninevites, and he looked at them through the lenses of geography. And they were bad people, the people who were not deserving of saving. And therefore, when he was taught to go and evangelize this particular people, he ran away to go to a different place. But then God forced him, through the story that you have read, through the story of Jonah, through a fish, to go to this place. And there is a lot that we can see about the fish and everything, why it was very opportune at this particular time. But he went actually and preached to the Ninevites, and they were not destroyed. Finally, he is humbled enough by the hand of God to go and speak to the Ninevites, and they change their ways, and therefore they become better people. So when we look at people through the lenses of geography, which come with the connotations of race, then this comes with a limitation, believe it or not. Whether you're white or black, when you come with race, you come with a limitation that may not take you further. The second lens that we're looking at, that we look life through, is the lens of family. What does it come with? The lens of family comes with ideas and customs and social behavior. It comes with a people and a society with them. It's burdensome to look at life through the lenses of family. That is why the second thing that Abraham is told, get out of your family. This does not mean necessarily where you were born, the people that you were born with, but it is the area, the people, the way they live, their customs. Most of our customs, even in the African setting, most of our customs come with a lot of limitations. And therefore, I look at myself with a limitation of custom. It could be the things we do, the foods we eat, the language we speak. It comes with its own limitations. I'm not saying that the African culture is bad. I'm saying that there are things within the African culture that come with limitation. So when I look at myself and I want to look at myself through the lens of my family, through the lens of our culture, through the lens of our customs, it comes with its own limitation. Believe me, that when I go to a place and I look at myself as a Teso, and I believe myself to be a Teso, with all the stories that I've been told about Tesos, sometimes it is very easy for me to feel inferior. Gideon was a man of God, but when the angel of God spoke to him, he looked at himself as an Israelite who was surrounded by enemies, looked at himself as the family which is weak among the tribes of Israel, the house of Manasseh. Then he looked at himself and the lenses of his father's house, and it was very weak even for him. And therefore, finally, he said he is not able to do what he's supposed to do because of his family, because of his lineage, because of where he is, because of the people he lives with, because of the circumstances around their family. Most people believe they cannot do anything. They just believe, I have to do it like my family has done it through generations, and this is a limitation. It doesn't matter what you do. Some people will talk about those who look for firewood, those who work for others, those who wash and clean toilets. I'm not talking about those ones. Imagine God has called you for a specific purpose. Just because your family is a family of doctors and lawyers, you must become a lawyer, you must become a doctor. Yet, it is not your calling. This is a limitation. And therefore, despite the circumstances we are facing, it is limiting to look at my destiny through the family lens. When I look at it through the family lens, it comes with a lot of limitations. The third one is the lens of my father's house. I do love my father very much. But then when I look at my destiny through the lenses of my father's house, that means my brothers and sisters, immediate family that I'm living with, it comes with its own limitation. This means my descendants and my lineage. It comes with our social standing in the community, and it comes with its own limitation. I cannot live life more abundantly if I have to limit myself through the lenses of my father's house. There are things you have been told in your father's house. There are things you've been spoken to in your father's house. All these come as a burden that limit the lens of my father's house. And therefore, I look at myself as a lastborn. I look at myself as a firstborn. I look at myself as the weakest who failed exams. I look at myself as that one who hasn't gotten a job. That is how my father's house looks at me. And therefore, if I take that lens and look at life through that lens, my destiny becomes blurred. My destiny is not very clear. Why? Because the lens of my father's house is limiting to how I'm looking at my destiny. Do I go for advice in my father's house? Definitely, because my father is one of the wisest people. But then I can't look at life through the lenses of my father's house, because my father's house comes with its own limitations. It is not free fully. I mean, every family has its own problems. Every family has its own limitations, whether you are son of a bishop or you're son of a pope. It doesn't matter. It comes with its own limitation. And therefore, yes, I can define myself through my father's house to some extent, but then I can't limit myself absolutely to the lenses of my father's house. Remember, this is what the Bible tells us, that the latter shall be more glorious. This includes even families. Now, if my family was at this level, then I can go higher. I don't limit myself. The sons and the grandchildren will always be higher. It's the design, it's the biblical design that the latter shall be glorious. And my grandkids must be more glorious than me. I can't limit my children to follow only my path. I can't limit my children to look at life and look at their own destiny through the lenses of my family or my house. And therefore, I have to set them free. And how do I set them free? I guide them through the ways of the Lord. That is one. And when they have come of age, they will not forget. They will remember what I have taught them, the advices I've taught them. But then when I look at my life and my family, I love the Bible. It speaks in the wisdom of Isaiah, chapter 54 and verse 13, that we must allow our children to be taught of the Lord, which means I have a limited capacity to educate and to teach my children. But then when I allow them to be taught by the Lord, He teaches them something else. He teaches them something greater, something more glorious than I could ever offer. Then lastly, we have the divine lens. Now, before I go to the divine lens, remember, all the three lenses that we've spoken about in the first place, the geographical lens, the family lens, and the lens of my Father's house, they all define our destiny through history. What has been written, what has been done. It is history. It is history that has been set down. It is set and cemented. You are not supposed to go beyond this. You are supposed to be this. You cannot do this. You are an African. You cannot do this. You are a European. You cannot do this. You're an American. You cannot eat something else. You must eat pizza. I'm saying that as a joke. I mean, this comes with the history, what has already been written down. But remember, what God wants to bless you is what your eyes have not seen, your heart has not conceived, your ears have not heard. This is the blessing that is in store for you. And my question is, could these three lenses give it to you? No. Now let's look at the last lens, and this is the highest lens according to me, and this is my divine lens. Allow me to put here a disclaimer. It really doesn't matter what religion you are now listening to me, but if you don't have a spiritual power guiding and grounding you, you failed. You cannot be stable. You cannot go faster. Now, let me go back to the Christians. If you believe yourself to be a Christian, then the divine lens is the lens through which you look at life. Now, look at most of the people in the Bible who defined themselves through the lenses of geography, the lenses of family, and the lenses of their father's house. Most of them refused the assignment that was given unto them. Because we look at Moses. He said, I am a stammerer. This is what was believed by the stammerers in Egypt, and this is their land, this is their culture, this is their people. This is what stammerers cannot do anything. The second, we go fast forward to look at past someone like David. David feels he cannot do anything. His brothers are better because they're better built. We look at Gideon. He says, I can't do it because I am the least among the least, because that is what those other lenses have told him. Then you look at Esther. Let me bring in a lady, because you might say that ladies are not affected. Look at Esther. She's told, and she does not want to do it because she feels she doesn't have the capacity until she is reminded to do this, because it is God's call for such a time as this. And many other stories, and many more people who were called, they said, we cannot do this because we are just bad. My question to you is, what are you just bad? Never define yourself and finish your definition of yourself with just bad. When you define yourself through the lenses of geography, the lenses of family, and the lenses of your father's house, you will define yourself and you will begin your definition. I am just but an African. I am just but Teso. I am just but a Masai. But then God says to Gideon, rise in this strength that is within you. God does not look at us and look and define our destiny through our history. God defines our destinies through His own story. His story. He has a story about you. He has authored and finished your life and has spoken to you. God has spoken to me. And therefore, I have to have communion with God. Allow me just to pick a scripture random. Romans chapter 8, verse 15 and 16. Spirit within me communes with the Spirit of God to remind me, to tell me, to give this confidence to me that I am a child of God. And therefore, when I commune with the Spirit of God, He defines my future. He defines my destiny through the divine lens. And the divine lens doesn't define the me of today. It defines the me of tomorrow. Believe me, each one of us who is born of blood, each one of us is born of man and a woman, has a great destiny. But most of us don't step into it because we define it wrongly. So allow yourself to be defined by the lenses of divinity. Allow yourself to define yourself through the eyes of God. Define yourself through the eyes of heaven. Don't define yourself through your past. Don't define yourself through your present. Define yourself through the future. And the only way to do that is to define yourself through the lenses of divinity. And this will help you a great deal. So 2026 is a year that is just begun. This is the year. This year is a fresh year. You have an opportunity, a chance to redefine yourself through the lenses of divinity, through the eyes of God. Remember, He says, I have good plans for you, plans for a good future. Believe that. Plans not to harm you. Believe that. Plans of a greater tomorrow. Believe that. To make you the head and not the tail. Believe that. To make you ahead and not behind. Believe that. To make you above only and not beneath. Believe that. When we believe that, we will live a more joyful life, not just joyful life, we will live a more purposeful life. May God bless you. This is Ticha Masai, and again, this is Rhema Center, where we live, love, and lead.